So, you've probably seen that name, Larsen Toubro, or just L&T, slapped on a construction site somewhere, right? But here's the thing. This is not just another construction company. We're talking about a force that's building the very arteries of a nation. I mean, everything from massive superhighways to the digital networks that keep us all connected. So how exactly are they engineering India's tomorrow? Well, let's dive in and find out.
Okay, let's start with a really big question. How do you actually build a nation's future? I mean, really build it. It's not just about policies on paper or 5-year plans, is it? Nope. It's built with steel, with concrete, and, some absolutely incredible vision.
It's built with gateways that connect a country to the entire world. We're talking massive, state-of-the-art airports, just like this one, the Navi Mumbai International Airport. Incredible!
And it's built with things like high-speed rail. Look at this, the Delhi Meerut project. This isn't just about tracks and trains. It's about turning a ridiculously long commute into a quick trip. It literally shrinks distances and pulls entire regions closer together.
And of course, it's built with this kind of stuff, the heavy-duty, precision-engineered machinery that powers, well, pretty much every other industry. Think of it as the foundation, the real backbone that everything else stands on.
All right, so how does a giant like L&T even begin to navigate the modern world? It's pretty fascinating, actually. To really get their strategy, you've got to understand that they're basically operating in two completely different economies at the exact same time. It's a real tale of two economies.
So on one side, you've got the global scene, which is, well, it's facing some serious headwinds, right? Trade is slower, there's a ton of uncertainty out there. But then you look at India, their home turf, and it's the complete opposite story. We're talking massive tailwinds. You've got this huge government push for infrastructure, a digital revolution that's just exploding. All of it is fueling this incredible demand. And as India's on this track to become the world's third largest economy, guess who's building the very foundation for that growth? Yep, L&T.
Okay, so you're in this world with global challenges but domestic opportunities. How does a company this massive even decide where to focus its energy? Well, they don't just wing it. They've got a very clear strategic blueprint.
This quote right here, it really gets to the heart of their stability. So, an order book, what is that? It's basically their pipeline of confirmed, paid-for projects. It's work they've already locked in, and for L&T, it's at a record high. Just think about that. They aren't just hoping for new business, they have years of work already secured. That gives them this incredible visibility, like a clear runway for future growth. So, with that stable foundation, how do they actually plan to grow? Well, it all comes down to this 5-point plan. First up, they're jumping headfirst into the green energy transition. That's huge. Second, they're all in on ESG. That's environmental, social, and governance, basically making sustainability a core part of how they do business. Third, it's all about operational excellence, just being super efficient to stay ahead of the game. Fourth, leveraging all the latest digital tech to get that competitive edge. And finally, number 5, they're selling off businesses that aren't part of their main focus. It's all about sharpening their strategy. It's a really solid roadmap. All right, so that's the plan on paper, but how does it actually play out in the real world? Well, let's start with the company's muscle, the massive engineering and construction side of the business. You could call it the brawn. I think this slide just captures their range perfectly. On one side, you've got the stuff you can see and touch, like that airport we saw earlier. But on the other side, you see the stuff that's usually hidden, the incredibly complex inner workings of something like a hydrocarbon facility. And that's where their real power lies, in mastering both of these worlds.
And the projects themselves, I mean, they're just incredible. You're talking about the transportation networks that get the country moving, from rails to airports. The energy plants, both nuclear and renewable, that keep the lights on. The refineries that provide the fuel. And then there's defense, building critical systems like the K9 Vajra artillery, and even light tank prototypes to protect the nation. These aren't just jobs, they're literally building national assets.
But listen, L&T is not just about heavy machinery and pouring concrete. That's only half the story. There's this other, equally powerful side to the company, the technology and services. This is the brains of the whole operation.
Okay, so this chart might actually surprise you. We all know L&T for construction, but look at this. A huge chunk of their business is actually in high-tech services. Their IT company, LTI, is a global giant. Their engineering R&D service, that's LTTS, is designing the tech of the future. And on top of all that, they're also big players in finance and real estate. They are way more diversified than most people think.
So let's just zoom in for a second on their IT arm, LTI Mindtree. It's such a cool contrast, right? While one part of L&T is out there building the physical world, this team is building the digital one, and they are not playing around. They're making huge investments in the future of tech, especially in game-changing fields like generative AI and cloud services for clients all over the world.
And it doesn't even stop with IT services. Their R&D division, LTTS, is busy designing the technology for things like electric vehicles and the sustainable systems of tomorrow. But here's the big one. They are making a massive strategic move into the semiconductor industry. You know, the little chips that power literally everything, from your phone to your car. That is an absolutely critical play for any company that wants to be a tech powerhouse.
Okay, so we've talked about the brawn, the massive construction projects. And we've talked about the brains, the high-tech services. But there's a third, absolutely crucial piece to this puzzle: their commitment to building a future that's sustainable, for both people and for the planet.
Just look at this number. Let it sink in for a second. 75,500 crore rupees. That's how much revenue they're generating from their green business portfolio. This proves that for them, sustainability isn't just a PR stunt or a buzzword. It's a massive, profitable, and totally central part of their business model.
And they're putting some really ambitious deadlines on these commitments too. They are aiming to be water neutral by 2035. That means putting back more water than they use. And then carbon neutral by 2040, balancing out all their emissions. I mean, these aren't just fuzzy goals. To hit these targets, they have to fundamentally transform how they operate.
But building a sustainable future, it's about more than just the environment, right? It's also about people. Through programs like Jyoti, they're investing in STEM education for the next generation, reaching almost 53,000 students. And at the same time, their Unnati program is empowering rural communities all across India. It's all about creating this positive ripple effect for the future.
And think about that number for a second. That's tens of thousands of young minds who are now getting the skills they need to innovate and, build the future themselves. It's amazing.
So all of this kind of brings us to a final thought. We've just seen a little snapshot of what one company can pull off in just a single year. We're talking everything from mega airports to AI, all the way to rural development. It really makes you stop and wonder, if this is 1 year, what's the next decade going to look like with this level of ambition and execution?
Maybe the answer is right here. The future, it isn't just built with steel and concrete. It's also about nurturing growth, about sustainability, about human potential. It seems like their biggest project of all isn't just building a stronger nation, but a greener and a smarter one too. Because at the end of the day, the future isn't just built, it's grown.